Welcome to King Said So, Africa's one land, one language, one currency, one army on King Said So. Africans can unite. Your Pan-Africanist podcast. Enjoy.
I'm very impressed with Mpho Dagada of Arise South Africa. Yeah, and the boy is on fire. Your boy is on fire. He's on fire. We need to speak more about Mpho, eh? It looks like we need to speak more. I love this type of language from politicians. This is what I like to hear from politicians. He's entering my top 10. Well, not top 10. I don't even have a top 10. Top 5, actually. He's entering my top 5 top politicians of South Africa just by this one statement that he made. We've been following him for a long time, and now it is time that we give him the attention that he deserves. Listen to this.
Cyril Ramaphosa is a wicked man. He's playing games with this election, and it's time somebody calls him out. First thing, how do you announce the date of the election late? An election should be announced on time so that people can prepare. What he does today is the most evil thing anybody's ever done. He tells all political parties that are contesting in the elections, he says to them, I need you to give me 62,000 signatures, ID numbers of people that are registered to vote, and physical signatures to prove that they're going to vote for you. Now, I want to remind you, to get one seat in parliament, it only took 30,000 votes in the last elections. Why would you need double the number? Why do people need to prove themselves to you before they're on the ballot paper in a metric that doesn't even make sense? The second thing, we need to see this for what it is. What Cyril Ramaphosa is doing together with the Stellenbosch Mafia, and I'm calling them out, is that they want every single political party that starts to come and beg them for money. And some of us will not be begging anybody for money. We've seen political parties rise in Mzansi. They went through to collect 15 million from the Oppenheimers in Stellenbosch. They are now being dictated as to what to do on a daily basis. Some of us have chosen to reject funds, knowing that we don't want to be tied with billionaires that don't actually care for our country, that have been looting and taking so much of our people for so many years. We don't want to be tied to those people, so we refuse those funds. Now we are seeing them create crafty ways to make sure that anybody who is not funded by Stellenbosch does not appear on their ballot paper. Because how do you expect political parties that are not funded by dirty money to be able to collect 61,000 signatures, upload them on your system, that you are going to then go and check for you to approve whether they should be on the ballot paper? How do you expect that to happen? Number one, you set a due date. You only inform them today that the due date is in 2 weeks' time. How does this even make sense? And I'm not only fighting for Arise because we are able to actually do it. I'm fighting for all the other political parties that have called me this morning to say, Mpho, we don't understand. We can't afford to do this thing. What they're asking us to do is almost impossible. How do we only get 2 weeks? How are we only told today that we have to submit 62,000 signatures in 2 weeks? Uploading the data, the time, the offices, and guess what he says on top of that? He says they have to be from different provinces. They can't just be from one area. He says you have to get them from different provinces, and he gives them targets in each and every province. We have never heard of this thing before. This is wickedness of the highest order. What he's trying to do, he's trying to make sure that on the ballot paper, there are only political parties that are funded by white monopoly capital, that are funded by him and his friends, so that whoever the people vote for, they are voting for him in that case. And we cannot allow that. And it's important for us as the people to do two things: to be aware of what's going on. Number two, to ensure that we back these political... From today, I've heard 4 different political parties that said to me, Mpho, we're giving up. We want to join Arise because we just don't have the money to be able to collect 62,000 signatures in a space of 10 days. This is unacceptable. We can't allow Stellenbosch Mafia, these crooked and wicked men, to dictate how our country should be run. We can't allow that. And it's important that we back and support, especially black entrepreneurs, we can't watch this as this happens. You must support and back political parties that you know are not tied or funded to the Stellenbosch Mafia, are not tied to people that don't care about our country. This is our democracy. We need to own it.
Peace in Pan-Africanism to all my African brothers and sisters from all around the world. Welcome back to King Said So. I am your host, King053, Mr. Easy Imali Eneng, and we're back at it again with another one. And this time around, we go to Arise South Africa or Arise SA, Arise Mzansi, however you want to call it, the political party led by the president Mpho Dagama. Now, Mpho is very interesting, and I've been following him for a long time. And he's leading his political party in a Christian way. Understand? And I've always thought once you start putting religion to politics, you, without thinking, sideline the black agenda. You understand what I'm saying? Always when religion comes in, religion tend to stand for these people and not those people. So as a Pan-Africanist channel, we motivate people to practice their religious beliefs in the church, in the temples. But when we gather together, we then take the Pan-African agenda, and that is the uniting force that we are Africans. We need to protect each other. Whether we come from different religions or not, it does not matter. As long as you're an African identifying as one also, we make sure that we put the African agenda ahead of anything else, ahead of religious agendas, ahead of anything. So anything that benefits Africans, we do it. You understand? Because you are anyway black first before you are any religion. You are born black. You are not born Christian or born Muslim or born whatever you call it. You are born black. So there was some statements that he made in the past regarding the EFF and what, and I was like, no, I can't listen to such thing. I am a Christian, by the way. I subscribe to that religion, but I always put the African agenda and Pan-Africanism ahead of anything. That when we come to saving our people, I put that ahead. Churches are not building schools. Churches are not fixing streets. Churches, the best they can do is give out food parcels and soup kitchens. They don't have an impact, what you call politically, that changes the people's lives. That's why you saw most churches, if they want to have a true impact in the lives of Africans, they then turn into a political party. And this is exactly what Mpho Dagama has done. And he's doing it excellently. The conviction of the man when he speaks, I'm telling you, I'm giving him 10 out of 10. I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. Now, what is making the president Mpho unhappy is the 62 signatures that the IEC is now requiring from the small political parties and from all political parties and the ID numbers to come with those signatures. So not only a signature, don't fake a signature. You better give us an ID number that is registered on the database of the IEC as a registered voter, as a legit voter. Now, why the number 62? I'm also questioning. How will a small party, or where will a small party get that 62? I mean, 62,000 people? Come on, that is unfair. And also putting it back to you have to find them in 10 days. It's an unfair ask. But remember, what is happening here? What is happening here, because he's blaming the ANC, he's blaming Cyril Ramaphosa, is that it's showing us the integrity of the IEC is not completely intact. And I'm telling you, people, this election is very tight. It's very tight. Most of these small parties were going to manage to get that 32,000 or 35,000 to get one seat. And I said that was going to lead to the most diverse parliament in the history of ever. You are going to have maybe 30 different political parties or more having one seat in parliament. And Cyril Ramaphosa and the IEC, they don't want that type of disaster. So what they're trying to do is to filter the smaller Nyana parties by putting an unfair rule to say, go and get 62,000 signatures, of which most of them have given up already. So listen, we can't do this. We honestly can't do this. Now, he calls out the Stellenbosch mafias. I like it when he does that. This is the type of politicians I want. Because remember, once you start putting yourself out there, attacking the Oppenheimers, Ruperts and all of them, you get a Red Cross. You will never find funding from those people again once you voice out your dislike about them. He attacked Rise Mzansi, and he's saying those people want to go get 15 million from Stellenbosch. They themselves have admitted that they got 15 million from Rebecca Oppenheimer. And he says we will not accept funding because that type of funding controls the political party completely. And I explained to you last week that the reason why Rebecca's family, the Oppenheimers, are funding these small parties is because they want to keep black people divided. That is one of the reasons. They want to keep black people divided. And also the second reason is that they want the ANC not to have entire power. And also they want the smaller opposition parties like MK, the EFF and so on, they must not get the crumbs. These people must not go to those parties and make them big. They must go to the smaller Nyana parties and get 1 or 2 seats. That's it. The division that this family is causing on South Africa. And it's also they are selecting those people who will never speak about land, who will never speak about the minerals of this country. So they automatically, I mean, you will never hear Rise Mzansi coming for the minerals of the country. They will never do that because they are funded by the richest family in South Africa. You understand what I'm saying? So this due date of 2 weeks, and also the IEC expecting people to give them names from different different provinces. They are just telling you we are disqualifying you. Remember, the first list the IEC released was over 500 political parties that registered to participate in the 2024 election. That list was then cut down to 282 somewhere there, and now they are cutting the list even further. That is what is happening here. But we have Vuyo Zungula of the ATM explaining a little bit further what is the situation here. Listen to this.
Quick perusal of the Electoral Act would say that after the president would have declared the election day, the timetable is set up in consultation with political parties. So I would have thought this would have been something that would have been canvassed with you before it was announced.
On Friday, there was a meeting with the IC, with political parties. Obviously, when political parties go there, it is representative of political parties, and they are not furnished with the timetable so that when they go to the meeting, they go with the mandate of the political party to raise some issues. They went to the meeting, and the timetable was unpacked to these representatives. These representatives then went back to their parties to say, this is what IEC had presented. Now, our party said, look, there is a short turnaround time when it comes to the submission of lists. Remember that this meeting was sitting on Friday. Next Friday, which is the 8th of March, that is when the list submissions need to be submitted. Now, our view is that when it comes to some of the parties, there is not enough time, or that time is too short for parties to consult with their stakeholders, their members. Some parties actually have list conferences to ensure that there's a democratic process. Yeah. Now, to have a short turnaround time, it then impacts now the party's ability to have democratic processes for them to comply with that March 8 deadline.
Yeah. But one would say that's not a problem for the ATM. You're not a new party.
Yes.
You've been at this, you've done this a couple of times, and you've been at local government and everywhere else.
Yeah. No, the ATM is ready. Yeah. However, our view as the ATM is that We want free and fair elections. Therefore, even if something does not affect us, but the fact that other players in the space are negatively affected, we need to outline that this is wrong and needs to be changed. So we are not only advocating for issues because we are affected personally as an organization, we are raising issues that other political parties have been raising.
I've said it many times that budget will dictate who gets a seat in parliament, especially for the small parties. And for the bigger parties or your medium parties, those who had 10%, the EFF, the UDM, those who are around 5 to 2%, those parties, they are going to be dictated by the budget, the financial muscle they have on how they're going to get into parliament, or how many seats rather they're going to get in parliament. It's clear. And I like what the UDM is doing because I believe in that spirit. That even though something does not affect me directly, as long as it is unfair in principle, then I am standing for the people who are suffering. That is just the nature of me, and that is why I'm always in trouble at work. I'm always in trouble in organizations where I work because I cannot stand unfair treatment to other people. I cannot stand it. I end up getting in trouble because of that. And that has been that since I was born. That's how I was. I was always standing up for the people who get bullied. Always. I was always in trouble when they asked me, why no rekas kelemse? What does that fight have to do with you? And I always stood up for the people that could not stand up for themselves. So I like that from the ATM or Mr. Zungula. I like it. I like it a lot. Let them fight for those people because really, these smaller parties. And what I'm telling you guys is this. The late announcement of the election date and then the election date being as far as less than 90 days, it gave the IEC too much pressure. The IEC is not ready. The IEC is not going to be ready. There's too many things that they have to deal with besides the logistics of organizing themselves country-wise. There's too many logistics. So now what they're trying to do when it comes to the ballot paper, the ballot paper, they are trying to cut it down to small size, to small chunks. So they try to get rid of many political parties. So at least the ballot paper can have maybe 150. And that is still a big ballot paper. That is still a big ballot paper. Let's quickly listen to what the IEC is saying.
You held a media briefing earlier today just to discuss some of your readiness. How are the system looking now? Is it all systems go? What's going on behind the scenes before we reach that crucial date of 29 May?
Well, to reach 29 May, there are certain important activities that must be performed. And among those activities is the applications for special votes to ensure that those of our compatriots who are in special circumstances are given an opportunity to cast their votes, hopefully in circumstances of secrecy as well as dignity. Then comes the issue of the voters' roll, very important, that an opportunity is given to inspect the voters' roll and for objections to be raised where they are warranted. And then on the 12th of February, then we will certify the voters' roll, and so by so doing, indicate that it is the basis upon which an election is going to be happening. At the same time, we have to receive the list of candidates and the nomination requirements on the 8th of March by 5 p.m. and to go through the necessary processes, publish the list, allow people to raise objections, give the commission an opportunity to look at those objections and decide them. And if still there are people who remain aggrieved, then they can appeal the decision of the commission to the electoral court. So there's a myriad of electoral activities that must now happen on the basis of the timetable. It is not a measure to disadvantage anyone, but really to create certainty in the system and for both role players, i.e., political parties, independent candidates, as well as the general voting public.
Now, I want to be the first person to say it because you guys are going to forget that we say these things. So we record it and keep the evidence. We keep the receipts. There's going to be a logistical nightmare with the IEC in the 2024 election. The reason being, these people were not ready. And I don't like it that we are speaking about the readiness of the IEC as if we did not know that 2024 it will be an election year. Last year they knew already. 5 years ago they knew that this year will be an election year. You know, and this thing of them, last year it was they did not have a venue. They were not sure about the Pretoria showgrounds. Bushiri's church left there, and then the whole place was vandalized, things stolen, millions of rand to try and rebuild what was broken there. And then the next thing, the amount of political parties that have registered, they are not sure about if Mkhonto Wesizo has stolen the name of the veteran military arm of the ANC. You've got the issue with the EFF and the ELF. You've got so many issues that are happening that some are underground that we don't talk about, and I think finances, logistics, and employees of the temporary employees, your 5 months employees, the people, the field workers, let me rather say that, the field workers is going to test just how good this IEC is. Because for me, I'm telling you, it's going to be a logistical nightmare. What is going to happen this year? I can just see it. I can just see, every year we see ballot papers lying in the streets. Every year we see party agents found with finding IEC workers with an open box that is not completely sealed. Ballot papers that are already marked. Things like that. We always find those things, and I think this year is going to escalate a lot of things, including I don't even want to say, but you guys hear what I'm trying to say. It's going to escalate to many things because you've got parties like Mkhonto Wesizo that are aiming for 2/3 majority and they will never get it. So once they start seeing that there's some cheating and all of those type of shenanigans happening with the IEC, it's gonna be a fight. The EFF is looking to be the opposition, the official opposition party. You understand? They might say they want to win, but they win by 50%, they won't get. So they are trying by all means to hit that 25% mark to 80% mark so that when they get into coalition, then they can choose the CIC to be the president of the country. The DA, DA, you, my black people who are voting for DA, you, I don't know what you are eating. Voting for the DA, a full black person. Yo, guys, Nina. Hi, Kona. Why didn't I vote in Rise Mzansi? Now, your father is a white party. Why didn't I vote in Patriotic Alliance? Why didn't I vote in Arise South Africa? Why are you not voting for Action SA, Ibosa, Building One South Africa? Why are you not voting for those parties? Why are you voting for the DA? You don't even stay in the Western Cape and you are not even white. My previous video, I said only white people who stay in Western Cape, in Cape Town specifically, are happy with the service delivery of the DA because it's very discriminative and it is very selective to protect the white privileged in the Western Cape. The rest of South Africa, the DA is doing a terrible job. The rest of South Africa. You understand what I'm saying? So, Nina voted DA, abantu abamnyama, woo, mnyama. Hey, nizwa yo. And you know the DA is from the National Party. You know who are the founders of these parties. But you guys are, it's like I corner, man. You know why we start quoting Bible scriptures like my people perish because of lack of knowledge? Hey, man. Hey, you don't have knowledge, man. Don't vote for the DA. You, Kosia. Hi, vote for other parties. If you are colored and you wanna play with your vote, if you are white, you wanna play with your vote, by all means the DA vote for them. But nina abantu abamnyama, hayi, KZN and disappoint them. KZN, you've got an alternative now for the ANC if you want to change the ANC. Umkhonto ukhona. Hayi, votelani umkhonto. You've got an alternative. The EFF is in KZN now. Votelani EFF. Votelani IFP. Votelani PAC. Angazi votelani something. Yakalanda abantu laba. Hey mina man. Hayi. Anyways, my apologies for the late upload today, which is Monday. Well, it's already Tuesday now. Every day, 7 o'clock, I try that you guys, when you wake up, you have a video there. I'm trying to go to a point where I upload every morning, 7 o'clock, and every evening, 7 o'clock, so that we can grow the channel properly. The studio should be up. We're just waiting for material. Bought a lot of things from Take a Lot. Waiting for the material to arrive. It's going to be somewhere this week. So I think by March 1st, safe to say, hopefully before that, we'll be moving into the garage and making sure that everything is sharp there. We're improving lights, we're improving background and everything. So I thank everyone who have supported this channel financially. So everyone who has clicked the super thank button and gave us a 10 rand, 20 rand, a 70 rand. I appreciate it, guys. You guys are working very hard for your money, and we try to make sure that the content at least the quality is at least meet your expectations. So I'm very happy with that support. The good news is coming this week. By the end of this week, we'll have good news about the Pan-African School of Economics, Technology and Agriculture. Watch out for that. And make sure that you are tuning on the live streams that we have. That will be on Thursday, 9 o'clock. Thursday, 9 o'clock. I hope something does not disturb me because there's a family issue that I must attend. I'll tell you about it next time. But thank you to everyone that has subscribed. Thank you to everyone that is on the comment section. I'm learning a lot from the comment section from you guys. So much wisdom that you are dropping on the comment section. Don't be shy with those comments. Make sure that you put them out there. We need them. And yes, so let's get to that 20,000 subscribers so that we can give away those 10 t-shirts to 10 different lucky winners from around South Africa. I'm gonna make sure that I spread them Eastern Cape, Limpopo, everywhere. I'm just gonna choose randomly and then send those t-shirts. When we were at 10,000, at 5,000, we did choose 5 people and we gave them those t-shirts. We do keep our word. So now when we are going to 20,000, we try to, keep our word by selecting 10 people and sending the t-shirt. It's very important for me. And I like the fact that you guys are showing the support that a channel like mine needs. We're going to make the proper noise as a Pan-Africanist channel. We're going to make the proper noise. The more we grow, people are starting to see, people are starting to send emails, words of encouragement from you guys. I did get some requests for booking. People are saying, King, where can we book you? Can you come and speak at community meeting, whatever? I am very much available. I'm a qualified public speaker. I'm an author. I do this. This is what I do. So don't be shy to send me an email and request a fee, booking fee, and I'll give it to you guys. Most of you, depending on the event that you are doing, you're just gonna cover the transport anyway. So thank you so much for that. As we are growing, guys, we're going to take over. We're going to take over as we are building the school. We're going to take over. I'm telling you, do not leave this bus. Do not leave this train. You are in the correct vehicle that is going to drive for Pan-Africanism here in South Africa. You are in the correct vehicle. I promise you. Until we meet next time, don't forget to pray. And after you pray, stand up, African child. Do your best so that God can do the rest. Peace in Pan-Africanism. I salute you.